honestly, I'm just sick of them not taking me serious.
Are you ready for it? Watch this. Can you feel it? Watch this. You've underestimated everything I've been through. I think you can't imagine all the things that I can do. I see you on the pedestal, you put yourself upon to. I'm a wild animal here to devour you. Watch this. Are you ready for it? Watch this. Can you feel it? Watch this. Everything I've worked for is resting on this moment. Don't know what I love more, the fight or the focus. I'm always in the shadows, hardly know that I exist. Think you're the best, but get ready for the plot twist. Watch this. Are you ready for it? Watch this. Can you feel it? Watch this. Watch this. Keep your eyes on it, on it. Watch this, watch this. Keep your eyes on it, on it. Watch this, watch this. Watch this! Are you ready for it? Can you feel it? Watch this! Are you ready for it? Watch this! Can you feel it? Watch this! Are you ready for it? Watch this! Can you feel it? Watch this!
Yo, yo, yo.
What's up, Facebook?
Oh.
What's up, YouTube? How y'all doing?
Who's this guy?
I'm Dylan. Dylan
Oh,
Arlette,
crap,
man.
man.
What's up?
Guys, I don't have enough hair gel to be Bill. I'm telling you right now, I ain't got the beard for it either. Cheers,
man.
cheers. Let's go. What's up, YouTube? What's up, Facebook?
I
Where's
knew
everybody
he was
at,
gonna do
man?
that.
What are y'all doing, man? What is it today? Wednesday night? 6 o'clock. Let's go.
Yeah, what's going on, everybody? How y'all doing? Gonna give it a minute just so everybody get in here. Good to see y'all. I see Tammy in the chat, working in the office and watching some CBC. That's what I'm talking about. Dark horse right there. Let's go.
Let's go, guys. Like, share, subscribe. Let's go, baby. We got some Winner's Circle. We got some CBC Family Feud. We're in a 2-week major break, Bill. That
Yeah.
is, I mean, it's rare.
It is rare.
It's
It's
rare.
awesome, though. It gives us time to do Family Feud.
Yeah, I like
think-
this. I need more of these.
Yeah, I think we're gonna be doing Family Feud and making our picks a little bit quicker in the future because we like the more interaction, talking with everybody here, talking about stuff that comes up, and I don't know. There's all sorts of things. Like I got news. I'm not gonna wait for Family Feud for this one, but Miggy's making bags now. What's up?
I'm stoked about it,
I'm
man.
stoked
We're stoked
about it too, man. I
If you
think
guys
it's awesome.
don't know, what up, Swink? What up, Dustin? What up, Deb? If you guys don't know who Miggy is, Miguel Hernandez, been a staple in cornhole, especially in
5
Clarksville
years
for
now
5
or
to
so,
6
right? Yeah,
years.
yeah.
First person I got in contact when I moved here 3 years ago.
Yep.
And he does great things for cornhole, man. And he was originally not making his own bags. If you guys are unaware if that's a real thing, I'm not going to get into it. Don't get me fired up. And but Miggy decided he wants to make his own bags. He wants to do everything on his own in-house, and we obviously respect that. Everything we do from shirts to hats to bags, obviously, folks, is in-house. So we love it. We're excited for him. We gave him some pointers when we can, you know what I mean? But,
Yep.
I mean, we have a great relationship with Miguel, and we wish him the absolute best.
Oh, yeah,
So,
on their journey, man.
Yeah.
It's going to be a journey for them, but very excited that they got into the game, too, man. Super
Mhm.
excited about that. Oh, should we do one more impression? Let me know who this one is.
who's this one?
What's up, whole heads?
Rich Pyle?
No,
Oh, is that Finn?
That's Finn,
Oh,
man.
it's
Come
Finn.
on. Did you not see their video yesterday?
No, I haven't got to it yet.
Good.
I haven't got to it yet.
Finn was pretending he was Frank. Frank was pretending he was Finn.
I was wondering why you were trying to be me today.
Yeah,
I
that's
didn't
why.
know what was
yeah,
going on.
Yeah,
Yeah, Bill even went for a run. No, he didn't.
No,
Guys. He didn't.
I did not go for a run. I'm a clean, 172 weight. I feel pretty good. I don't
Bill,
think
you're
I need
in great
to go on
shape.
too many runs.
You're in great shape.
Thanks,
When
man.
you do before and after of like beginning of last season to you now, I think you'd be astonished with how healthy you are now. I'm very proud of you.
Yeah.
Same for me though. Same for me.
Yeah,
you
you
know,
too.
We're both making leaps and bounds, and we hope everybody else is, man, and prosperous in whatever journey they're chasing. You know.
Definitely, brother. You
Winner's
ready to get into
circle?
winner circle?
Yeah, let's
go.
see these people are chasing the podium week after week, and we've got 10 winners this week.
And there
man,
was
and we
more.
are up.
There were more. Megan Puckett is not showing up on here, but she did win yesterday. Was it women's? She
It was
won
Saturday,
yesterday?
women's
Saturday.
regional. Yeah, only.
Who did she double
said,
dip?
She said, yeah. I think she said there was only 2 women in the regional or something like that, or maybe 3.
Okay.
And it was her and Kelsey. And she took 2 out of 3 against Kelsey Heitzer. Who
That's-
we know? I mean, if we're going to talk later about who's the king of cornhole frontrunner, if you want to talk about for women's player of the year right now, Kelsey's in that conversation 100% of the
yeah.
time. I mean, she's playing really well. I think she's a woman to beat this year. I mean, she made her name real quick.
Oh,
quick.
yeah.
And now,
Yeah,
you know,
I mean not Cincinnati. It was the major before Cincinnati, right?
West Virginia or Charleston, West Virginia.
And then in
Right.
Cincinnati, she got second in her bracket. Kayla Pert, the only one to beat her, right?
Well, that was in West Virginia as well, in singles. Same tournament.
Okay,
she
same
wins
thing.
women's and
I
then
thought-
takes second in her bracket.
I thought it
Cincinnati,
also
she
happened in
won
Cincinnati,
women's and she won co-ed with Johnny Thomas.
Freaking crazy, man.
Mhm.
Yeah. She's
on
an
a tear,
all-star,
but
man.
Megan Puckett, our lady Megan Puckett, did take it down.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We
Lady
got our first
CBC.
ones here. Hold up. His name is Noah. Let me say, sorry, this is
Got
one
some new CBC throwers right
brand
here,
new
folks.
CBC throwers. Guy on the right, name is Noah. Took 3rd place. First set of bags he's ever owned right here. Tore it up. So we're
That's
super
awesome.
excited about it. He was playing up with Greg Scott in 4 bags cornhole, man.
Yeah, Greg Scott, man, CBC bag rep up in the Kentucky area. Greg's awesome.
Yeah.
Greg's awesome, and that whole group is awesome. But congratulations there, Noah. We appreciate your support.
Yeah, congrats, man. Definitely appreciate it, brother. Next up here, Greg
There
Scott.
he is. There's the man, Mr. 4 Bags Cornhole himself, Mr. Greg Scott, throwing the CBC Carbons, takes a 2nd place right there, man. That's all right. He's been on the podium more often, Bill. He's been practicing.
Yeah.
He's been putting in some work.
Yeah, I think the Carbons have something to do with it, too.
I think so. He likes those bags a lot. He does. He likes them a lot.
All right, let's move on here. Larry Dunklin, right?
Larry Dunklin, man, he's taken down seniors fields all over the place. I mean, 2nd place,
Yep.
but I've never seen him on a podium before, and now he's in back-to-back weeks, you know what I mean, making a name for himself.
Have we met Larry before?
I can tell you personally, I've never met Larry.
I don't think I've met him either, but man,
Can't wait.
You keep winning, Larry. Love to see you, brother.
Yes, sir.
Number 4 here.
Nick Gardner, and I'm slipping this guy's name. I've seen him only once or twice play around the Middle Tennessee Cornhole area over there with Nick and Danny Rich and Brock Beasley and some other characters. And he was the owner of the bags, and I just can't remember his name right now. And I had it, Bill. I'm so sorry, buddy. But CBC Phoenixes. You know, and I'll look
we
it
could
up.
go through and look at the history and try to find them. I mean, there's only like
there's
2
no
or
way.
3 people that have ever owned those bags.
Yeah, right.
So, so we can go through like shipping history and find
Will
them.
Taylor,
There you
bingo.
go,
Will
there you
Taylor,
go.
man. Will, I'm sorry about that, brother. Mr. Taylor takes it down. I mean, those are some older Phoenixes too. He's had them for a while. If we don't remember,
Yeah.
getting them to him.
Yeah, hey, congrats, guys.
Let's go.
Oh,
What did you do there?
I double clicked there, man. Scotty
Oh.
Ball. Dude, Scotty Ball's always
And
winning,
Justin
man.
Ross, man. And
Yeah.
those are Justin Ross. I was talking to Jarrett Scott the other night. Jarrett knows him really well. Justin Scott is an under the radar player. I'm telling you right now, dude can throw. And they took down, I think, $250 a piece, Bill, plus those little boards, plus 4 tickets
Plus
to
those
a
little boards, like they're gonna go home and make cornhole boards out of them or something.
Plus
they're trophies.
tickets to, I believe, like a University of Tennessee football game or something like that, man. So big day out there for Scotty Ball and Mr. Justin Ross
That's
throwing
awesome.
the CBC elixirs, and that bag's catching fire.
Yeah,
You know
it is.
that?
Yeah, it is. Where was Dustin when all this was happening? Huh? Was this a blind draw?
bring your own partner, like a barbecue tournament or something like that. Something like that. I don't know.
All right, next up here, Amish. Amish, you're lucky this picture's in here, brother. If you're in here, dude, you're very lucky. I don't see the bags in your hand, dude.
Bill's a bag Nazi.
Well, I'm sorry, but we don't have Megan's picture. Well, Megan didn't have a picture of the win.
Yeah, that's why we didn't have. No, we didn't have a picture of her. We had a picture of her PPRs, and that's just too far.
But Amish did send us a picture in our private CBC chat, right, showing his bags, and he said they're almost perfect. So he's been breaking.
Amish has switched bags, folks, and he might be the only pro right now throwing the CBC Vector. But I think this bag is going to catch fire. It just hasn't hit its stride yet. You know, we've got bags that they come in, they come out, they come in, they come out. Besides the carbon, that thing's freaking blowing. I mean, we can't keep them in stock.
Carbon's ridiculous. I'm glad we have a lot of that material because that stuff's tough to get.
Dustin's injured, man. Sorry to hear that, brother. Hope for a speedy recovery, man.
Yeah, man. Sorry.
Jacob Coleman, man, and he loves those Preds, dude. He loves those Predators. We don't love them for our own reasons, but we love, dude. He loves those things, man. That's his second set, dude.
It's his reverse spin, man.
Dude, the reverse spin. His fingers
digs his finger in there, and that material is already, I would say, delicate, right? That material, the herringbone,
compared to others,
right?
Yeah.
So when you dig your finger in there, man, they wear out. They wear out pretty quick. But yeah, he's tearing it up, man. He's here every freaking week.
And I think it's his 6th or 7th regional win, Bill. He's almost maxed out regionals, and he does. Last year he said he had 1 regional win, I believe, 1 or 2, and so he is obviously somebody who's looking to make their name this year. I believe he has a 9th and a 13th finish in his majors, so he is on his road to earning his top 80 spot, man. And he's been a huge supporter of us since Worlds was. I met him in Tupelo last year, Bill, when I was doing our first commentating gig, I guess. You know what I mean, as CBC. And he was kind of just on the sidelines watching me, and then we met there, you know. And since then, we've had a great relationship, and he's been a great advocate for CBC and the sport of cornhole in general.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
Yeah.
I liked meeting him up there. Won the tailgater at Worlds.
He did, yeah.
So, yeah, he's a good guy, man.
The boys.
These are our guys right here, man.
The boys, Seabass and Gary Bearpaw. Seabass and Bearpaw, you know. And they're throwing Phoenixes, man. And I really like Phoenixes in Sebastian's hand, especially if the boards are slow. I feel like Sebastian can do a lot with those Phoenixes that maybe he might not have thought before.
Well, he was talking about it earlier too, right? I mean, we talked to him in the chat a little bit earlier, and he's like, you know what? I'm starting to like faster bags a little bit better. And he started throwing the Phoenixes. I mean, obviously, right here at the beginning of the year when these two teamed up, you know, we made a couple special sets of bags, sent it to both of them.
We did.
Because Sebastian, you know, loves throwing dead reckons, and Gary can throw the 7 side of the dead reckon, right? So we made sets for each just to make sure they had good tools that they could utilize this year. And it looks like Sebastian's kind of switching over to that Phoenix, which is pretty neat, man.
Yeah.
Because that's Gary's jam right there.
Wendy, Sebastian's mom said he won't throw fast bags like he said. We've only been telling him he needs to for over a year.
Oh, well, no. Hey. Look, don't get me fired up, Wendy.
Yeah,
no.
yeah.
I love how Sebastian plays with slower bags, man. I love it.
Yeah, he's
I've been
very
trying
exciting.
to mimic that stuff. He's a very exciting player to watch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think you got him in the next one too, Bill. I believe.
Yeah. Let's go.
And a singles win right there.
And
those are dead records.
And those are the dead records.
Yeah.
There we go. Yeah.
So I think Sebastian's biggest problem being on the CBC team, guys, this is an insider, is we have too many good bags.
Well, the problem might be that he loves bags too much.
Dude,
you know what I mean?
I mean, in the last, if you count the major with Zach Rush, he's thrown impacts, he's thrown elixirs, he's thrown carbons, now he's thrown dead reckons and Phoenixes. 5 different sets of CBC bags in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
I mean, and he's just killing it with all of them.
I know, he kills it with all. That's ridiculous.
I could never.
I wish that Sebastian and Zach, did you see their freaking pool play in PCB? They were both throwing over an 11. I think Sebastian missed 1 bag over 2 games or something like that. Absolutely insane, dude. So
yeah, I think he went 27 for 28.
And I think what were they throwing? Carbons?
No,
elixirs.
Elixirs,
Yeah, freaking awesome, dude.
Yeah. And there's Mr. Bearpaw. And if we want to talk about somebody who only throws 1 bag, that's Mr. Bearpaw. Yeah. And a little insight I want to give you guys. I mean, we all saw Bearpaw beat Matt Guy at the Open a couple weeks ago, man. Big win for Bearpaw. I was talking to Anita. Anita goes, Matt Guy was one of the people that Bearpaw's wanted to play his whole life and looked up to. And, you know, because they have a similar game, right? Yeah. It's slider airmail. and that's pretty much Bear Paw
that's
and
his
Mad Guy.
And he has a nasty push. He does. I mean, he can go through bags. So the thing is, where Sebastian, maybe he rolls over a bag or something like that. Bear Paw's going through it. Right, he's not going to try to do any crazy rolls or anything like that. Sebastian would go over it, maybe eking out some sort of advantage if the other guy came up short on his fourth bag or something, and Sebastian had the eighth bag, that seventh and eighth, his fourth, and then whatever it may be. Gary would just go right through it and push it in. Although watching him play against Matt Guy and being on stream in the ACL and stuff like that. Dude, he shot airmails similar to Joe C. Clare in some situations where it was
very confident.
Well, very confident as airmails that entire tournament, which was absolutely awesome to see out of him, because there was some times where it was just well, I can either just set it up on the board, wash, and go to next round, or shoot an airmail and take 2 points. And he shot those on blocks that were hanging in the hole and hitting backside and going in. I love that gameplay
on another level right now, man. I love it.
Awesome.
But one thing I wanted to say about that is Anita told me that during that weekend at the ACL Open, he goes, at some point, multiple times he had said, if those were my bags, they would have went in. Talking about his Phoenixes, So he was obviously throwing pro snipers. We knew Bear Paw was throwing pro snipers in ACL when we picked up Bear Paw on the team. The Phoenix was made for Chase Puckett and Gary Bear Paw specifically. I mean, it really was. I mean, we know we wanted a pro sniper mimic. We gave it to those guys, asked for feedback, and out came the Phoenix that, so many people throw today. I mean, I think it's the best fast bag on the market, in my opinion.
Phenomenal fast bag. Todd Gammon's in here. Look at that. He said, no tags tonight. I'm off work. Todd.
Oh, that means you're ready.
If you didn't show up, Todd, we're going to have a whole CBC section of boycotting Todd Gammon. All right? Until you show up in the chat. So I'm happy.
A swirly.
I'm happy you're here, big dog. All right, we move on.
And with that, we move into Family Feud. As soon as Todd Gammon gets here, he knows what
when
it's
time to show up, man. He knows what time. All right. Hold on. I'm supposed to mute it first.
All right, folks, let's go. Todd Gammon's here. We got a lot of topics, guys, and thank you for all the feedback on Facebook, man, and everybody was real interactive. I mean, there wasn't any arguments going on in there, but there were some good conversations, and we're going to read through some of them, not all of them. I mean, there's some comments in there of things we've already addressed. I'm not trying to double tap anything. You know what I mean?
Right. We addressed a few of them, I believe. How many points for?
If we're gonna do less points for small majors, we think that's a good idea. We don't think that's a good. And that was the one I did solo. But I do think that there was a consensus that less points for majors gets the sport nowhere. You know what I mean? No matter the size.
When you said less points for smaller majors, I like to consider it more points for bigger majors.
What I like is another type of major. So we're seeing Owensboro. So this is pretty much going to get us into what we're talking about, right? Where the question was that I had proposed, should players have to attend a certain number of, let's call big majors, right, in order to earn your pro status? Like, should you have to attend at least one major that encompasses 200 players or more, right? And that has to count. One of those has to be one of your top 4. Okay?
The ACO would have to guarantee that there's 200 players.
Well, what I think you do is, I don't think there's a number on it. There's no number on it. I'm just saying what you do is you look at the past, you look at the analytics, right? And you go, because there's probably 6 to 8 tournaments a year that house about 200 plus players, right? So you look at those from the past year, you take 6 to 8 of them, they go on a new list, right? You call them super majors, you call them...
I think they're already calling Owensboro a super major. I think they're already calling
Grandes. I don't care what you call them. You know what I mean? But you make that list, you have to hit at least 1 or 2 of these, right, to earn your pro status in your top 4.
If I were to ever agree with you, it would just be 1. Since they want to take
I think
4
1 out of 4, 25%, right? I'm okay with that.
Hey, what's up with this shirt?
This is... What do you mean?
Do you have any CBC swag on?
Oh, I got the hat, bro.
Oh, my bad. All right. Sorry, folks. I gotta make sure he's policed up. You know,
Wait till I get the tattoo, just right on the throat.
I'm repping the new hoodies.
But
here.
I do think that one, right, major, and like I said, it might not get 200, but if you look at somewhere that for the past 2 to 3 years has averaged over 200, and if you have a list of 6 of those, right, They go on a separate list. If you'd like to earn your pro status, one of your 4 majors has to come from this list.
That's tough.
I don't think so.
The only reason I don't think I can get on board with something like that is because where are most of the biggest majors?
I mean, within 6 hours of us.
Right, our conference pretty much.
Midwest to, southeast, right?
And if we're trying to grow the ACO sport in the West, which is heavily dominated by ACL,
yeah,
right? How can we force people in the West to travel this far?
Well, look at what they do in the ACL. Why do people leave the ACL, Bill? Because they have to travel so much to earn their pro status. Because you have to go to 4 nationals. Did you know that?
But you're talking.
You have to go to 4 nationals, regardless of where they are. Opens don't matter. You have to earn your pro status. You have to go to 4 nationals. There's only, I believe, 6 nationals a year.
Okay.
So you have to travel to those, regardless of anything.
Regardless of
if
where
you
they
would
are.
like to earn your ACL pro status.
I understand that. I mean, I completely understand that. But what I'm saying is that, well, number one, the amount of people that show up to those, ACL Opens and things like that is pretty ridiculous for just about all of them, right? Like, they're not having 25-person main brackets in some locations and things like that, where the ACO is trying to grow their brackets, which
we
is
love.
respectable, and we absolutely love it. And that's why I think, forcing the West Coast to fly somewhere here, not the Heartland, but what would be, I think
we're the Mid-South.
Mid-South Conference.
I think, yeah.
Or, the South Conference. I think that's where, we're rocking it right now with that. Mm-hmm. And I don't know what Ohio is considered. I don't think that's Mid-South.
It's got to be Northeast.
Yeah, whatever that conference is. I mean, dominating these eastern and southern states here.
Yeah.
To force somebody to fly out here to do that. I think if there's a caveat to that, I think Worlds should count. And currently, Worlds doesn't count for that, right? If you made pro or not prior to Worlds, unless you're a non-numbered pro.
Yeah.
Right? But if Worlds counted for that, and they have Worlds in Owensboro and stuff, who the heck's not going to travel to that?
Right, but so you only have to travel a possible long ways twice in a season. Is that so much to ask to become a pro?
Sebastian, don't be getting crazy.
We got to scroll up though, Bill.
Hey,
we got some comments in here. Todd Gavin, Jack Harco would never finish top 10 if they changed, but Jack is my 5th favorite ACO. I get it. Bob House said, depending where you live, I like it, but I don't see it changing. Bob House says, you just proved my point. Why force travel? I think that at some point to
Bob,
become a pro,
I'm pretty much with you on this.
To become a pro, it depends on how serious you want to take the sport. How serious do you want the sport to be, right? And that's a question that only each individual can answer, right? I mean, we don't want it to be where the ACL's at, where there's no music at the event and people are mean to each other sometimes, and I agree. I don't want that vibe. It's why we're here.
I don't want that. I don't want that vibe either. It's a family.
Exactly why we're here.
We'll say more of a family vibe.
Right.
In the ACO, which we absolutely love.
Right.
And we don't want to lose that to be. I don't want to say too competitive because it's a competitive sport. We want competitiveness, but we want like respectful competition.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? To where, and I just forcing players to move like that or travel like that is tough. That's super
I
tough.
get that it's tough, but here's the other issue with it, right? Is what we're seeing is that there are players that believe that the top 80 gets kind of muddled with people that only go to the smaller size majors, right? I mean, that's an argument, right? That is something we see all the time that people complain about, right? I don't care what you do. I think if you go to a major, you should be commended for going to that major, support the sport. If you're not going to small majors but you're complaining about it, you should stop complaining about it or go to the small majors. I mean, that is bottom line on that for me. But if you think that it's riddled with players that don't deserve to be there, quote unquote, right, which I've heard and seen on the Facebook, from other players, this is a way to possibly mitigate that, right? You have to show up to a big one, and it has to count for points.
I don't know if I'm on board with it.
It's a tough one, right? I mean, and I don't like making people travel either. But what I'm saying is I also believe that every player that's a pro should have the experience of a large tournament outside of Worlds.
I agree.
What does this feel like?
But can you name me? Okay. Can you name me a pro that has not been to a big major?
Well, no. I mean, I'd have to look. I mean, could I find one? Probably.
Maybe. I'd say maybe.
Okay, if
it'd be tough.
Would you say go to, or if their top 4 finishes from last season are at a big major?
I'm just saying go to. Well, okay, so are you telling me that they have to have a top 4 finish at one of those big majors to be considered?
One of those majors that you go to will count in your top 4. So you have 3 besides that.
Okay, so you have 3 that you can go anywhere you want, and then 1 that absolutely, and you can go to more than 1.
Right.
Which would give the Mid-South an advantage.
An advantage travel-wise, absolutely.
But
not an advantage competition-wise, because you have to play those people
not an advantage
because they travel
and
they play only in this area.
Depending on
where
how the brackets
it
fall
is
out.
harder. Like, I mean, Bob Heil's thing is he thinks it's easier when the brackets are split to earn points. I don't necessarily believe that. I think it's a decent argument. I don't necessarily believe that.
Wait, say that one more time.
He thinks when the brackets are split, it's easier to earn higher points because the brackets are split. So if you take 5th in your bracket, it's technically a 17th or whatever, right? And he's like, so really you took 17th in the tournament, why would you get 5th place points? This is a conversation I've had with Bob, you and me, on Facebook. I get what he's saying, and he's saying when you go to a tournament with 30 players, right, when you take 5th, you get 5th place points, but you have to take actual 5th. That was his argument with it. And I said, well, these brackets have more than 30 players. Cincinnati had a minimum of 42 players per bracket. So I didn't think it was a great argument. I understood what he was saying. You have to beat everybody at that tournament, right? Not just in your bracket.
I don't mind them. If we're going to talk about points, which I think we've already talked about this, I'm on board with if you have more than one bracket, the bracket champions who play each other should get more points.
They are.
And I know they are, but it should be maybe an additional point to each bracket that there is. Let's say there's 6 brackets. That top person should get 56 points. You know, because
that's
they
exactly
beat
what's
that
happening.
many. Is that what it is? Exactly that?
Yes.
Or I thought the maximum was like 53.
Well, they only split the bracket 4 times. There's no matter the amount of players currently, right?
This is why I love having Dylan on here, is because he's like a bracketeer, or what do you call that?
I'm good with bracketeer.
Bracketologist? Bracketeer?
It doesn't matter.
It does, yeah. He knows a lot about
Bracketeer is like
stuff.
a musketeer, and I have a mustache, so I'm pretty cool with bracketeer.
Mm-hmm.
But no, so they've only ever split it to 4. We have not seen more than 4 brackets ever. Maybe Owensboro Super Major, we see that. I don't
54
know.
points would be the absolute maximum that you can get in a Super Major.
53. Right? So first place
You said
53,
4.
second place 52, third place 51, fourth place 50.
No, 4th place you get 51.
No, they're already a bracket winner. They get 50. They took last. They didn't win another match after
Oh, that's tough. That's tough.
I mean,
okay. I guess
that's where it's at right now.
And I do like that.
Yeah.
I like that a lot, because when you go to those smaller majors, it doesn't. I mean, like, it definitely benefits, but you're not in contention for that top number 1 spot, right? That top number 1 spot is going to go to the person that wins all 4 brackets, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So I really
And
love
I want
that
to look at Ashley. I really like. Well, we can go up. Bob says more players doesn't mean it's a harder to a point, which absolutely true.
That's
but
true.
we have seen statistically with players, if you count their rankings, the smaller majors don't hold the percentage amount of pros as the big ones do. I mean, that's just factual. The percentage of pros, I mean, is what makes the tournament harder, in my opinion. You know what I mean? If you have 1 pro out of 25. You know what I mean? Or let's make it easy. You have 5 pros out of 25. We're at what? 20%?
Yeah.
You know, and then you have 50 pros out of 150. We're at 30%. You know, so, and I think that happens more, especially with the Pro Series majors, which is another conversation, but they usually push the pros in that way. But that's Charleston, West Virginia. It was about 150 to 170 players total with 48 pros.
I like the comment that it's more players doesn't mean that it's harder to a point.
It's true.
But with fewer players,
listen to this.
You get more.
Read this right here.
With fewer players, you get more points for not beating as many people.
Exactly what Ashley Irvin said right here.
When you have a major with 42 in your bracket, or you have a major with 25 in your bracket, I think there's a couple point jumps there. Maybe not. But if there are, sure, maybe it's not harder to win the whole thing at it, but it's easier to gain more points.
Right, you have to win less games to get a higher placing.
Fewer games. Yeah, just to correct the English.
You can't say less. Is less no good?
No. Fewer because you can count the amount of games. Less would be like, I love you less. You know what I mean? To where we couldn't count the number of that?
Like, I win less than I used to.
All right, let's go.
But this is what Ashley said. My POV on this, who you're playing at a small majors, it's not about who you're playing at a small major. It's always been outlasted. 3 to 4 games versus 15 to make it to the end is a huge difference. Exactly what you just said.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that is the argument.
I didn't even read that, but I agree with that. Like, if I were to show up to one that had 25 in the main bracket, and there's point jumps from 42 to 25. Let's just say that, and I don't know if there is, but if I win one game, I know I've jumped points 100%.
Right, you go from 25th to 17th.
Right, and that's exactly right.
And in a 42-person bracket, you go from tied for 43rd to 33rd.
And to where, I honestly, it's the first major that I played, Owensboro, I made it into the main bracket, went 0-2 in the main bracket, ended up absolutely last in that main bracket.
Yeah.
I think I got like 33 or 31 points, something like that.
31.
But what if I ended 25? Do I get more points or no?
No.
Okay.
Not at that time.
But if I win one game at that,
well, not when you played. So when you played in that major, it used to be the split. The brackets were split, but it didn't matter. So if you took a third, you got 9th place points. If you took third in your bracket, remember that back in the day?
And that's what we were talking about. Yeah,
right. I mean, they're doing much better with the split brackets. You get brackets for what you take in that bracket. I'm a fan of that. I don't think there's anybody denouncing that. I don't think there's anybody that has a problem with that at all. What do we got from Bob here? What's up, Nigel? Nigel's in here, man.
Watson,
New Zealand,
on,
my boy.
Good to see you, big dog.
I agree. So when you split the bracket, the pros get split up as well. I mean, absolutely. I get what you're saying, Bob, but the percentage of players there, you're playing more games. I can't get on board with you, Bob, that the bigger majors are easier to get points. It's hard for me to see the light in that one. I understand what he's saying. You have to beat everybody that showed up to the tournament at the small majors, but I think that there's enough pros that go to the big ones that the big major brackets are just as hard, if not harder, than a small major, full major.
Okay. For me to get on board with Bob on that specific comment, there would have to be, if we had 4 main brackets, 4 of them, what is the minimum amount of players to be able to split it to 4?
I really don't know. I think it's 168.
What per bracket?
I think it's 168. I think 42 per bracket.
42 per. Okay, so if you went to one of the smaller majors and there was 42 in the main bracket, completely agree with Bob at that point.
That was Cincinnati.
If there is fewer than that many in that bracket, then I don't agree.
Yeah.
Right? So if we get to a place where there's 25 or something like that, I don't agree that it's just as hard. You know what I mean? To get those points and get through. I don't. But if there is the minimum amount that there are in bigger tournaments, then 100% completely agree.
Jed says he thinks the ACO has made strides to improve cornhole as a whole. I like the opportunity to go to small majors. He won't be able to this year. I mean, we agree. We agree fully. Do not get rid of the small majors.
Oh, dude. We're not trying to badmouth whatsoever. This is Family Feud. We just like to talk about our opinions on it. I absolutely love what the ACO is doing for cornhole, dude. Love the family vibe with them.
So split brackets.
We're fully in with the ACO. We love it. Absolutely.
If playing in small majors wasn't a strategy for points, people wouldn't be flying across the U.S. to majors. Patrick, I'd like to not believe that. I'd like to believe people are flying across the country to support the sport. And I believe more people should be doing that. If you are willing, able, and have the money to fly to a major that is somewhere where you know it's going to be small, which nobody knows until roll call comes out, but we're all smart enough to know what's going to be small and not. I think that more players should be doing that. I mean, look at... We just had Dark Horse in here, A.T. Klinger and Tammy, right? They will tell you firsthand they are not the best players in the world, but they will travel their butts off all season long because they love the sport and they're here to grow the sport. So the problem is that people don't love the sport. Dude, you're going to get me fired up.
He got it. I'm going to get him fired up because Patrick, I agree with you, dude. Let's roll. Let's go.
How would you?
I do. I agree with him.
You think the numbers would be less if it wasn't an advantage? Sure.
What I'm talking about, if it's not 42 minimum in that main bracket, if it's not that minimum, when you split the bracket, if it's not that minimum, I agree. I 100% agree.
Right, and Bob House says split brackets make it fair to small majors. I agree, but I do think, as you're saying, whatever the split bracket criteria is, what you're saying should be the minimum requirement for singles players at a small major. Is that what you're saying?
What I'm saying is, okay, so again, we'll go through the whole thing and then we'll talk about maybe how to fix that whole thing,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
So let's say 42 is the minimum to be able to split a bracket. So you'd have 84 people in, not the smallest major, but the second smallest major before you could split that actual bracket, right? So
Right.
you'd have 42 in each bracket of something like that. If you have 25 in a main bracket,
Okay.
that is easier to beat than if you have 42 in that main
Right,
bracket,
facts.
correct? I mean that's just
Yes.
on average,
Yes.
right? It is easier
Yes.
to beat or place higher.
Right.
You will get more points if you play in that 25-person main bracket than you would the 42 main bracket, which means that there's an issue when you have 25 people or fewer than 42 people in a main bracket.
So are you saying you think small majors should have a minimum requirement for players for that tournament to go forward?
I'm saying at small majors like that, and this is something that I just thought of this last 30 seconds, and I'm probably going to get roasted for this.
That's okay.
Maybe there should be fewer points.
No.
See? No, I mean maybe.
You
if it
cannot
doesn't meet that minimum requirement of 42, maybe it should be 49 points for
No,
first.
because then you never go back there and you don't grow the sport. This is my problem with it.
So and looking at it from that perspective and not a fairness perspective.
I don't care about fairness. I mean, I do, but there has to be both sides of it. We're trying to
I
grow
don't
the
care
sport.
about fairness is what he just said.
I do. You guys
He
know I
does.
do. I'm a competitor, man.
Okay.
If I was still running for points for the season, you know what I mean? Like, and luckily I have that mindset a little bit, like, because I've done it, just not well. And but no, what you're saying, I was on that side, right?
For
and I texted
fairness
multiple
is
people.
what I'm
in the
talking
one that I
about.
did solo,
But
right?
growing the sport, look, you
have to.
you pulled on me a little bit with that
But
one,
if
right?
you would have watched my podcast when I was alone, you would have known I said this thing. What do you call it when you take back your words? What's that called?
Well, in spades, it would be
No,
like if
no.
you said re.
No,
it would be,
I know what
okay.
you're saying. No. It's like politicians do it. You redact. So I redacted what I had said. I had texted multiple people saying that smaller majors should have less points. I was like, I broke it down. I was like, this many should be this many, and this many should be. And then I go, you know what? That's not good for the sport. That's only good for the pros.
Growing the sport is our primary concern.
It is.
So we would list our priorities, and if growing the sport is above fairness, then you're right.
We're never gonna catch up to comments, dude.
No,
We're
let's
so
go.
behind.
What do we got? Come on.
We haven't read a comment since like 6 ways above this. Jameson's in here. My man Jameson, he's gonna fix my roof, dog. Shout out.
I love it.
Best Choice
I love
Roofing.
All right, finished third in my bracket.
No, he's just talking crap. Don't listen to Jack.
Okay. Oh, he's just talking to Todd. I love it, dude. You may like to not believe it, but it happens.
People
I think
traveling
we're
to small
talking about the
majors,
smaller
they're in
majors.
points, yeah.
Patrick, you and I are eye to eye on this. How good should you be before playing in the ACO tournaments?
Right now.
Jameson, right now, today,
Talk to
you
us,
could
buddy.
join. Yeah, we'll send you a link, get a membership. Bob said the funny thing, the ones complaining about the small majors live where there isn't small majors or won't travel that far to a small major. That is funny. It is a legitimate
Bob, that's because we're
comment.
blessed with the big majors.
Legitimate comment. Yeah, we have big majors all over here.
Oh.
Totally agree.
But we're gonna go to like 7 majors this year, and not one of them's gonna have less than 200 players. I don't think.
I don't think so.
I mean,
either.
and that's just. And we're going there to broadcast. We're not even
and
going
we're
to
only
play.
going
Yeah,
within
yeah.
5 hours of ourselves.
Well,
is
if
what
we
we're
go to
going.
Mobile, we'll make a move.
That'll be the
if
only
we go to
one that's-
Mobile. Yeah. But even Branson's like 6. Yeah.
Yeah, Patrick, I'm not saying everyone, but there are some players for sure. Yep. We make mini vacays out of them as well. I saw that on your last post
Tammy
there,
Klinger,
Tammy.
yeah.
That was awesome. I love how you put that in there, especially for PCB. They stayed an extra
They
day.
stayed an extra week,
believe.
I feel like,
Yeah,
dude. They were there for
they
like
stayed
a
while.
month.
I thought that was cool as hell. Todd says, I know a person that paid close to $1,000 in airfare to a major hoping to get points.
But that's their right.
That's what we're
That's their
talking
right, Todd.
They
That's
can.
their right. You can't hate that. Don't hate the
No.
player, hate the game.
Nobody's hating the player for something like that, but that is part of the game if we're talking about fairness or growing the sport. That's all I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
Bob Heil, love this. I don't know. I hope that's us. We love you too, brother. Wendy says, I'd love to go just for the travel. I'm not an automatic in for the main bracket, so I'm just there for the fun. I think that's like 90% of us. That's 100% of us, but probably 90%.
We're not there for the travel or vacation at all because we just work the whole time.
Yeah, we do. We work literally.
And we beat Frank Gears in cash games. That's what we do.
Yeah, there's really no fix for it. It is what it is. Everyone has a chance to do the same thing. Yeah, currently they do. Currently, I would honestly, I think reducing points in majors that have less than 42 in the main bracket. I like that idea.
Can't do it.
That's me. Personally.
You just won't have anybody show up there ever again. They would never go to get the points there if there are less points, Bill. They won't go. There's no point to go.
There is a point to go.
What is the point to go?
To get the 49.
No,
you will not.
You're limiting it by 1 point. You didn't say that.
You will not hit that number one spot. No, I'm talking. Well, okay, we're saying
you have
maybe
to find
it was
a
40,
threshold.
maybe it's 48, but still, those players, that go. Well, no, those players can probably win any major. It doesn't really matter. I'd love to throw an ACO tournament, but my PPR is around 6 average. You're good enough, brother. Let's go. You got tier 2, tier 3 going on. They have all sorts of tournaments we can all play in. Ashley says if you do fewer points for smaller majors, then you have to do it for regionals too, and that would never go over.
Bingo.
I like them increasing the amount of points for almost every tournament.
I like having another type of tournament, and I talked about this in my solo. Between regionals and major points, Bill, there's conference tournaments and conference points. I
like that too.
Because regionals have become watered down.
Stop saying it in your solo. We had a guy here with you.
Bill Jr., BJ.
Freaking ridiculous.
BJ.
I like that too.
Yeah.
The more points, in my opinion, the better. This is America. We love high-scoring freaking games. We love stuff like that.
Nobody likes soccer.
Plus, it separates people. If you add another little layer or something like it separates
I'm the conference champion, conference
a little
champion
bit better.
jersey. I mean, let's go.
Like last year, how many ties were there for number 1?
5.
Should never happen, in my opinion.
Right, there should be 1.
There should be,
enough points.
A higher amount of points. Yeah. There's got to be something to where there's one that hit that, and more points. And I don't know exactly how to structure it because we're just kind of brainstorming here. But yeah, I think that would be good. Oh man, we're still trying to catch up, folks. I'm sorry.
I told you it was gonna be a while.
When he says, I would assume that people that go to the smaller because the person's the same size with less people to compete with. That is a very, very good comment.
Good point.
I absolutely love that point right there. That being said, regionals have gotten so out of control with so many new COs. Regionals.
All regionals are small, 100% going. Yeah. Good points for finishing higher. I mean, if you're going to be a pro, you pretty much have to max out your regionals unless you're just an animal.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But regionals have become watered down. You know what I mean? And that's why I said I believe we put some conference stuff in there. Give out pro jerseys with asterisks. Jack Arcro, you're the worst.
What does that mean?
You say it if you go to like small majors, I think, or something, dude. Jack's out of control.
That's terrible, Jack.
So Watertown had 25 in Maine with 12 pros. That's 50. I mean, that's solid. Bob, I'm not arguing that there are some tournaments that are small that are harder than a big tournament.
Do you get more points for ending 25th than you do 42nd?
Yes.
Okay. That's all we're saying. Right?
Right. Yeah.
Okay. Then there's if you make the main bracket, you get more points there, even for going 0 and 2, than you would something else. So even though it may be as hard, those 12 pros, they didn't have to play pool play. So if I make it in, not having to play a pro in pool play, and then I'm in the tournament, I'm guaranteed more points than somebody is for going the exact same 2-0 and then 0-2 at these other tournaments. And I think that's the biggest point of something like that there. We got your boy again, James.
Oh, he's talking about my roof. Don't worry about it.
Okay. The beard is getting strong. So thank you, Dick. I appreciate that, big dog.
Dick?
No, I said Nick.
Okay.
Dead horse. Like I said, it is what it is. I do believe that regionals are out of control.
Yeah.
There are a lot of freaking regionals right now. Dylan, I need one of those CBC jerseys. We'll get you hooked up, big dog. No big deal. Tammy says, I wonder if you lower the purse at smaller majors due to attendance, if many people would chase points.
I think so. I don't think the purse is what matters. I think it's all about the points, to be honest. So I think if we're worried about people traveling to small majors because they're point chasers, they'll go home with no dollars. You know what I mean? And be just okay with it.
I think they'd be okay with it.
If that is the argument. I'm not saying that's happening, but what I'm saying, it is what it is.
Patrick says even if you're last, you still get more points. Yeah, that's exactly right. That's exactly right, and that's my issue with it. But again, more isn't harder is all I'm saying. As long as the bracket has the same amount of players in everyone. If they wanted to do Owensboro with 25 people in every major bracket, every main bracket, and have
A lot of brackets.
8,000 brackets, I agree with you, Bob. In the end, I'll see you in South Bend and Owensboro. Let's go, dude.
We won't be in South Bend,
No,
but
but we're
South
gonna
Bend
see you in
will be a
Owensboro.
plus 200 major. I mean, at least it has in the past.
Hopefully we get to go there if they give
What,
us
South Bend?
how far?
It's about 5.5.
If they give us a call, Bob, we will freaking be there. If they give us a call, we will go to our duty, right?
I think it's in like 2 or 3 weekends.
I'd love to go. I'd love to. Wendy says, I'll never beat Patrick in rankings since he's automatically in the main. He's guaranteed more points just for showing up. I'm on his
Wendy's
tail,
mad.
though. Beat him at regionals.
What I want to say about Bob, and why I like having Bob in here a lot, is Bob Heil is in a space where it's very hard to get big regionals, right? Or get regionals at all.
Okay.
And then it's also hard for big majors, right? But
Yeah.
Bob shows up to any major and always does well. So I will always listen to what Bob has to say
You're right, yeah.
because of the fact that he is in a tough spot of becoming a pro every single season, right?
Right.
But he musters it out whichever way he has to.
He gives us a different perspective than what we're used
What we're
to.
used to.
in this
Every pro
'cause we're
we
used to
know,
this
every pro
local
we
area.
know
Yeah.
goes to tough regionals, tough majors. They max out their regionals because there's 600 throughout the season, right? They max out, well, they don't max out their majors, but they do well enough in their majors because they go to 8 to 10 within 8 hours. You know what I mean? So we are in an area where our players are blessed to have a lot of stuff going on in our area.
Oh, there's a ton. I could go, not every night of the week. I could go to an ACO regional, I would say minimum 3 times a week.
More than that.
I'm just talking local. I'm talking within an
local.
hour. Just going within an hour. I could
Yeah.
go to a minimum. Like if I wanted singles points 1 week, it's all singles. Monday night was singles here. Thursday night is singles here.
Yeah.
I know Kirksey had it tonight. Is that singles?
Yeah. Oh, I don't know. I don't know if it's singles or doubles, but
Don't know if
they
it's-
rotate.
But exactly. I could go to 3 a week and not be late for work the next day.
Yeah.
Right, if I want to do that. Now, if I wanted to expand my region a little bit, I mean, Saturday we got the Yates' tournament, right?
Henderson.
Hey, in Henderson, that's what, 2 hours?
Well, no, the Yates is Martin. That's 2 hours. But what I'm saying is, like, Henderson has tournaments as well, or Evansville. That's an hour 24 from us. Owensboro, like an hour 24 minutes. Yeah. I mean, we could play almost every night of the week in a regional tournament of any sort within 2 hours. I mean, that's no joke. I mean,
how far is Danny Lamb from us? Because he runs regionals.
Red Boiling Springs, the old.
How far is that?
It's about 2 hours.
Well, I mean, we could go there if we took. Yeah.
Friday, 1 p.m. We're not gonna get into it again. Don't get me fired up.
I'm joking around. Okay, all right. I've never.
Yeah, we had
Bob.
singles in Providence. Providence is like 45 minutes from us, Bill.
Yep.
I mean,
here
we are lucky for sure.
Patrick, yes, I do work, man, every day.
Oh,
Let's
Bill,
go. Come on, don't get me fired up.
Bill works more on CBC than he does his actual job. It's good for us. It's great for us. What?
This guy, dude. This guy, I can't believe it. I have an actual job.
I can't believe it.
Let me tell you about it real quick, Patrick. I joined the Army in 2003, and I was an unmanned aircraft systems operator. So I flew drones.
Oh, sick.
I flew drones when I was in the Army.
Bill, we appreciate your service.
It's 20 years later, and I'm an instructor for drones. I do this.
No, Bill does great things for the country, man. He
I
puts
do the
people out there that destroy terrorists, and I'm happy for Bill.
Yep. I teach.
Jack
teach
Harper
young
said,
guys
"Why
how
can't
to-"
you boys travel more than 5 to 6 hours?" Jack, I mean, so hauling the equipment takes usually 2 vehicles for one, so we're eating that gas, right? And then the hotel expenses. We all have 2 jobs, so to get every Friday off would be borderline impossible. And really, we need a minimum of 2 of us to go to any of these large events for the entire weekend. We're working. I mean, we work on saving our days off all the time. You know what I mean? We really do. And And also, I mean, we just try to break even. Once you get outside of about 6 hours based off of our accounting, you know, we start to lose money. And I'm talking when most of the time, if we don't have good bag sales, we will lose money. You know, like if we go there to make sales to help us pay for what we're doing as a broadcast team. I mean, our sales, everybody thinks we're making money off bags. If you think we're making much money off bags, I mean, a lot of this pays for what we're doing right now, all the equipment we have doing what we're doing right now, literally, and then what we do broadcasting, and then our equipment downstairs that, I mean, works on the bag. I mean, everything, you know? So for us to travel outside of 6 hours, we start to lose money, you know what I mean? So it becomes a risk for the business is why we kind of put that perimeter up, to be honest with you.
We have to sell bags at a major if we go to that major, and then we all have to take off work on those same Fridays. And then if we do have a back order of bags, which it's rare that we have a back order, you know, in the shop and stuff like that, you know, what do we do? Just tell everybody, hey, they're not going to be sent out for, you know, a week. So there's a lot of stuff that kind of messes with it. And we did, you know, last time at Worlds, we put a little banner on the website and said, hey, nothing's going to be filled until Monday. If none of you have ever ordered bags, we try to get them out the same day, literally the same day that somebody orders. We don't have a bunch of stock with 200 or 1,000 bags sitting there.
No.
When somebody orders it, we go and we make them, and we get them shipped out the same day. So that's kind of where we're at with it, and it's a little bit of a struggle. So you know, that's why when we go so far, it's
we don't like to sit here and try to sit on a pedestal either, you know. I mean, we're more about, I mean, like I said, our main goal from CBC, if somebody's in here that doesn't know, is to grow the sport, right? Because we grow the sport, we grow our business, we grow cornhole in general. It helps everybody. It helps everybody I said this a couple weeks ago. Everything that you guys complain about would be helped if we grew the sport. Every single complaint can 100%. Be helped by growing the sport.
Everyone that we've talked about, other than how do you beat Caleb Hurt?
Right. Right. I mean, it could, no, but it actually could grow the sport because then more people believe they can beat Caleb Hurt, and then, you know what I mean, bingo. But, and that's what, this is my thing, guys, and I live in a new mindset in the last, 6 months. I've been working on my mindset a lot of, if you're complaining about things, but you're not doing anything to fix that problem, stop complaining about it. You know what I mean? If you don't have a solution yet, keep it inside. Think about it. Do some brainstorming. And I understand everybody likes to complain. Your opinion is valid. It's a free country.
Well, no, it's nice to have those opinions.
It is,
though,
and
because
it's
maybe
good to bring them here.
Maybe somebody else can be able to. Yeah,
Right.
exactly. Hey, Chucky, you said off subject. I need my part 107. Bro, I could take that test. I'd ace it for you. I don't even have my part 107. I've seen the practice test for it. Bro, go to sporties.com. I think it's sporties.com. Take the test over and over and over and over until you can get like a 90 on it. Go and take the test. You got your part 107. No big deal, brother. Although I don't have mine because I don't fly in civilian airspace. We only fly over restricted airspace. Patrick says...
No, he said he was joking. It's all good.
I have off every Friday. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Jack was saying he can't make it all the time because he doesn't have Fridays.
It's tough, man.
Aaron Lambert, same thing.
Yep. It is tough to
That's
be
why we
able
bought
to
into
travel,
our business. We pick our own
I mean?
schedules, what Ashley said. Ashley, we're not there yet. That's the goal.
We're not there. Yeah.
That's the dream. That's the dream.
It is. We hope in 3 years to be able to do something like that, and we'll be at every major.
If y'all think bags,
we'll love it.
If y'all think bag companies in the ACO can cut salary checks, I'm gonna tell you, you're dead wrong.
You
know what I mean?
Yeah,
if anybody thinks that's going on in the ACO, it's not. I mean, from personal experience, I guess is all we have, right? Maybe
we have goals, so we're not paying ourselves. We're using it and reinvesting everything that we get. That's what
we got some fun new stuff too.
Yeah, we
some fun new. Look at Bill's hoodie, man. Look at that thing.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, dude. What do we got here? Aaron says off work every Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Dude, that is wonderful. Tommy Morgan, fast turnaround, awesome job. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. absolutely appreciate that. Work double shifts to make sure we can afford to be off, but at least we have that option.
Yeah.
No, that's the dream, right? Is to be able to do something like that.
Maybe we set up a food truck. We need a bag truck. We go around selling bags, because they got that donut truck.
I've heard craft fairs work
start
for it.
slinging bags out.
Although
of
I think locally there's somebody else already selling at craft fairs.
Yeah, duck canvas. I'll fight that.
It's all duck canvas.
I'll
but
fight
when
that
they're
guy.
doing it for $20 a set and we're doing it for 80, people are gonna be like, "Why do I need these?" And I am a sales guy. We can be okay with that.
We can make it happen, but
we can make it happen.
we got to test one out.
Ashley Herbert says, "Preach, brother. Let's go."
Yeah.
100. We play the hand we are dealt. That's very true, and that's something, Chip. I definitely agree with that. Everybody has different issues. Everybody has their own problems for everything like that. And not being able to make it up on a Friday and maybe only coming up on that Saturday just to play singles and doubles.
Yeah.
That's a hand you're freaking dealt. We're trying to play the one that we're dealt. And so far it's a radius around Clarksville about 5 hours.
5 to
one
6,
exception.
yeah, one to two,
with
yeah.
one exception. And that's what we are. We're hoping to expand that circle in the future without, costing the ACO what they're not willing to help us out with anyway.
Yeah, or cost
and
CBC any more money.
Will not cost us money to be able to do it.
We work
we
for
would
free,
do it for
dude.
free.
Yeah.
But that means all the expenses are paid. That would be free to us, but that doesn't happen. Usually we come up in the negative for doing stuff like that.
And I appreciate that comment too, Jack. That just saying the commentary is good. We'll be in Tupelo, man, and I'm really excited. Last year Tupelo was a big tournament with no broadcast team. I was lucky enough to have my phone up over there, man, and that's kind of where we got our start, and we are excited to be there, man. Tupelo's a great space. It's in like a furniture mart, so when you go in there, you're not looking at anything glamorous like Owensboro or anything like that.
Right.
But the drinks were cheap. At least I remember. If anybody's been to Tupelo, the drinks are cheap, folks. I'm telling you right now, at least from last year. The space is good. The tournaments ran smooth. Last year it was Johnny Box who ran it. I'm not sure if that's the same person.
Yeah, I don't know.
This year,
I'm not sure. I would really love to. Should get a little money. Bob,
the ACO takes care of us. Bob, they do. No, I don't want to sit here and say we don't get enough because we get something.
They do.
You know what I mean?
But that is that 5 hour radius.
Yeah. That's where it puts us. Yeah,
right.
From the accounting.
And we have to have a good weekend, at our booth and things like that to be able to, but they do. They take care of us. But to actually, be a business or anything like that, we also have to have a good weekend, which takes, more than just Dylan and I. Dylan and I will sit there, we'll commentate, we'll do, all sorts of stuff. We have all of our own equipment. We always set up our own equipment and things like that. But we need to bring extra people. They need to be in the bag booth, and hopefully they're good, friendly, awesome salespeople with the same qualities that we have anyway. So
if you guys ever show up to a major and you see us start setting up, you understand it's business. I know some of y'all that are in here have been there, and you guys want to hang out, and maybe we've been a little brash because when we're in setup mode, it's because we are there. We look at majors where we get there on a Friday or something, right, early, and there's games already happening. So things need to happen right now because we need to get y'all the live games that aren't there at the major as soon as it is uppermost in our mind to give you guys the quality content you deserve. This is what we think about. Could we sidebar with our pros for an hour and a half? Absolutely. They're there. They're ready to sidebar with us, buy us a drink, hang out. We go to work. You know what I mean? And so if you see us setting up, guys, also, I'm not trying to be a jerk about this, but if you could keep your space until we're set up, we'd appreciate it. Let me be honest. Because how many times have we encountered it, Bill? We're and we love everybody, dude. But we love you so much, dude.
The thing is, so get this, and he's right. He's right. The thing is that when we are setting up and we're in setup mode, and I know we have either center court, court one, whatever it may be, and we have so much equipment, we just pulled it all out. I don't want to say working the room because that maybe sounds like nefarious or something like that, but I love talking to all the people like you guys that come in here and support us. I absolutely love it. But when we're in that work mode and we're setting everything up, and people are coming up, they're like, hey, what's going on? And I there's no way I can not say, hey, what's up, and give them a hug or do something. But at
what's
the same
carbon
time,
play like?
At the
It's like,
same
bro.
time, I have to set that. I gotta
Yeah.
get it running as quick as possible.
And that is for everybody in the cornhole world is why we're doing that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If somebody comes up, they want to ask bags right now. You know what I mean? It's just not. Could I tell you in probably 45 seconds? Yes, but like you got to let me be in my zone and get after it.
It only takes a couple hours.
Because after day one at Worlds, I mean, we were coming to the building like this, yo, yo, yo. You know what I mean? It was like we were doing what you're saying. You know what I mean? We were vibing in the room. We're getting our stuff set up. We're getting our drinks. We're ready to go for the day. But until we're set up, there is like an hour or two where like we're locked in.
It's tough.
You know what I mean? We're locked in, and that's for you guys. Yeah, I mean, it really is. We want to go.
It's not just for you guys. For the people at home that didn't get that ticket to
and
come
that's
out
what I mean.
and support you. You know what I mean? And we try to make it the best seat in the house and get it done. So, no, that's awesome. What do we got here? Oh, so anyway, bring blind draw quads back.
Blind draw quads.
I don't think we got time to talk about anything else, do we?
To be honest, Patrick, just real quick. So they do the
bags. You're getting them
We're
fired
getting
up
into it real
already.
quick.
You get them fired up.
They do the bags, right? It's the bag teams, right? Which limits you to players that usually play for that team or have to select a bag. Last year it was 2 partners. Didn't matter who they were. Didn't have to be your doubles partner. Could be anybody you picked up from the side of the road. And then they get matched up with another set of partners.
Right.
And what people are saying is that it was more fun that way than it is now because people are stacking teams to win the tournaments.
Blind draw, but now they call it. Are we talking about actual quad
Bag
cup
masters.
or bag masters?
So they replaced quads, right?
Right.
Blind draw quads, whatever you want to call it, blind quads for blind people. Anyways, with bag masters, right? Which is still 4 people on a team, but they all have to, come together, make a full team of 4, and what they're
agree
seeing,
on the set of bags.
And then what they're seeing is people are stacking these teams, don't even care what bags they're throwing, doesn't matter if they have sponsorships or not, and then they're running these tournaments. 2 or 3 teams are doing way better than anybody else, and these people thought that quads was way more fun when it was blind draw with partnerships because people got to meet new people and stuff like that, which I would agree with. I would agree with big time meeting new people because you get matched up with a random set of doubles partners.
Okay,
you know what I mean?
So do you want to hear my comments on this?
Yes, I do. Go ahead. Are you Dylan or Bill right now?
What's up, Facebook? What's up, YouTube?
I can't handle it. I can't handle it.
Okay.
What's up, Facebook?
These are my thoughts on it. It's exactly what Patrick just said. Still could do the bag teams. I absolutely love it.
When?
If you can put together a 4-person, you could split the boards and do 1 quad cup and 1 bag team. Or the bag teams could be doubles. Ever think of that?
But then you take away from the quads tournament.
You take the pros away from the quads tournaments that are sponsored by bag teams that are going to pay for that tournament anyway.
I mean, I think we're the only bag
Then
team.
the blind draw is more fun, or the quad cup
who's
is probably
paying for
more
the
fun.
bag
anyway.
team thing? So it's $80. Is that the same price
Currently
as it
it's
was
80,
for
maybe
quads?
it would be 40.
For quads, is it 40 to play per team?
I don't want to do away with the bag thing, the bag masters, because I think
we're a bag partner.
Well, we're a bag partner number 1, and we're probably not going to win, but I think it's fun. I really think it's kind of exciting, because look, we looked at the last one in PCB.
It's my water, folks.
The last one in PCB, we had 2 teams. OTT had 15.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, was it 15? I believe it was 10 to 15.
OTT, man. If you guys are on Team OTT, y'all roll deep. But we've got some insight on that.
We had 2, and I think we got second.
CBC's a little exclusive.
And I have pride in that. I think it's cool as heck to be able to see that when all these other guys have so many teams and we're kind of small and we're just starting out about a year and stuff like that. I think it's fun. I like the
we're
bag masters.
We're not even at a year of actual sets of bags. Did you know that, Bill? Because I remember going to Tupelo last year and I had those white bags, the BP2s that I still have, the Bill prototype 2s, guys. And they're a Magnum is what they are, and nobody even our Magnum bags are our fastest bag. Nobody buys it. You guys think we don't make fast bags? We make fast bags, folks.
We have some fast bags. We just like them a little more full.
I threw them.
Yeah.
Didn't make the main bracket.
Oh jeez, you needed slower bags.
Well, yeah. But Tupelo's where it all started, folks. We're excited for it. We're excited for next week at Atlantic City Pro Series Major. Hey, appreciate everybody's comments. Everybody coming in here. Everybody supporting CBC. I mean, we're about a year in, folks, and it's been amazing. We're ready to grow. We're ready to grow this sport, man, and this is what we love. This is what we love, man. We love talking about what you guys want to talk about.
I know, it's fun. We're going to make this segment bigger every time, I believe.
Yeah.
And we may have a couple different segments coming up, too. We have some ideas in the works, but this segment I really love. Gets a lot of interaction. And honestly, folks, if you guys see our questions in the chat, don't be afraid to put any subject. If you don't want to put it in there, send us a DM. If you think we'll talk about it, and you don't just want to say, "Oh, hey, everybody, you should talk about," send it in a DM. We will look at it and maybe decide to discuss it, unless it's like, I don't know.
I mean, we're not going to do things that bash the ACO or the ACL or the TCL or the MLC. We're not here to bash cornhole in general. So if you're coming to us with something that is going to bash any organization, we don't think it's good for the sport. We don't think it's good for us. And honestly, if you, we can give our unprofessional opinions on something, sure. But I think that you should reevaluate what you're trying to do, because what we all should be doing here is trying to grow the sport. I mean, that is the main key here.
Well, yeah.
Grow the sport. You get more payouts. You get more bag sponsors. Bag sponsors pay people more. Regular sponsors pay people more. You grow the sport. Everything gets better, folks. I cannot. That should be our new motto. Grow the sport. Everything's better. Period.
Oh, I like Faith Family 4-baggers.
Faith Family 4-baggers is better, folks. But what I'm saying is, let's go.
Yeah. We're getting out of here. Let's do our cheers. I got a lot left, folks.
We got a decent
Dylan's going to be here for a few minutes.
Yeah.
This is the Corn Slingers.
Faith Family 4-baggers. Out.
I'm supposed to say out.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Say out.
Out.